Good evening, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chesha Lim, a medical student at the National University of Singapore, and I am honored to be your MC this evening. Welcome to today's event, where we are honored to have you today with us as we celebrate this meaningful launch of Dr. Phua Swee Liang's latest book. It is now my pleasure to invite Mr. Philip Yeo to deliver the forward address. Mr. Philip Yeo, please.
Dr. Phua Swee Liang, friends, good afternoon to all of you. I had the great privilege of serving and working closely with Dr. Goh Keng Swee. He was a man of formidable intellect, discipline, and quite resolved. He was not one for grand speeches or self-promotion. He identified and solved problems decisively, pragmatically, and often ahead of his time. Now, many of you know Dr. Goh Keng Swee as the principal architect of Singapore's economic and industrial development and the establishment of the Singapore Armed Forces. Few are aware of the role he played beyond Singapore's shores, particularly in the early years of China's reform and economic opening. China was searching for a path forward. Dr. Goh brought with him not ideology, but experience. He understood the constraints of a developing economy, foreign exchange shortages, need for industrial discipline, and importance of human capital. Dr. Goh's advice was practical: build for export, train your people, learn for others, and move step by step. What stands out to me is not just what he advised, but how he was received. That Chinese leaders were prepared to listen to a small nation like Singapore speaks volume about the seriousness, and particularly the great respect of Dr. Goh's commanded. This book by Dr. Phua Swee Liang, Mr. Goh Keng Swee, is important because it records with clarity and authenticity a chapter of history that has not been fully told. This museum in print is unique. Through letters, artifacts, journey, and perhaps recollection, it shows how trust was built quietly and steadily between individuals who understand the development is not theory, but practice. So we welcome all of you to receive this book from Dr. Phua Swee Liang. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yeo, for your gracious forward and for setting the stage so beautifully for this evening's celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce the author, Dr. Phua Swee Liang. May I invite Dr. Phua to address us. Dr. Phua, please.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to members of the diplomatic community, representatives from our institutions of higher learning, former ministers and officials of Singapore, business leaders, scholars, and friends who have joined us this evening. His Excellency, the Ambassador of China to Singapore, Chow Chong-ming, unfortunately, is unable to attend this due to official commitment. But we appreciate the embassies and are honored by the presence of our distinguished guests this evening. Today's gathering is not merely the launch of a conventional book, nor the opening of a physical museum. It is veiling of a museum in print, a record of a remarkable chapter in history when two nations, China and Singapore, began building a new bridge of cooperation during the reform years more than 4 decades ago. China embarked on a historic transformation under the leadership of Mr. Deng Xiaoping. The Policy of reform was bold, experimental, and filled with uncertainties. At that pivotal moment, my late husband, Dr. Goh Keng Swee, was invited by the Chinese leadership to share Singapore's experience in economic development, industrialization, and tourism planning. He approached the task with humility and pragmatism. He believed that every nation should find its own path, but practical knowledge and honest advice could shorten the journey. The story recorded in this museum imprint is therefore not only about one individual. It is about friendship, learning, and mutual respect between two nations at a crucial moment in modern history. The artifacts presented in this work, letters, artworks, gifts, and photographs, are not merely objects. They are witnesses to history. They reflect the trust and goodwill that exists between Chinese leaders and Dr. Goh during the formative years in China's economic transformation. But the significance of China's reform extends far beyond China itself. What began as a national transformation, China has lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty. They revitalized villages, towns, and cities. And today, they have extended to the improvement of the global economy. China's current reform trajectory is just the beginning of a far-reaching journey. Under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, these reforms are advanced with clarity of vision, steadiness of purpose, and a firm sense of direction. Implemented by a new generation of scholars who are well-trained internationally, who have returned home to apply their knowledge, discipline, and purpose to revitalize China's unique landscape, cultural heritage, and history to a renewable and sustainable future. History is not shaped by one nation alone. It is built through dialogue, cooperation, and shared vision. In a world increasingly marked by uncertainty and fragmentation, these values remain essential to progress and stability. May the friendship between China and Singapore continue to progress for generations to come in China's enduring journey of reform, renewal, and development continues into the future. Finally, I would like to thank the many friends, scholars, and supporters who have encouraged this project. My special thanks go to those who helped to preserve these artifacts and memories, and to all of you here today for honoring this evening with your presence. Thank you. I now declare the museum imprint officially launched.
Thank you, Dr. Phua, for your inspiring sharing and heartfelt words. May I invite you to go and unveil the book. Thank you. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in counting down to this special moment. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Dr. Phua. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving Dr. Phua a warm round of applause. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, each of you will now be receiving a copy of Museum in Print, which will be distributed to you by our ushers. Dr. Phua will also be available to personalize your copy in a short while. In the meantime, we ask you to enjoy your dinner and explore the exhibitions. Thank you.